Hello, beautiful people. Okay, I wrote a spoken word poem thing called Story of Manic and Depressive, and I want to share it with you guys because I also want to perform it at this spoken word thing coming up. So your feedback would be greatly appreciated in the comments, and I'm losing my voice, but that's cool. But I do hope you enjoy it, and if not, please tell me why. Okay, I'm going to stop wasting time. I do that a lot. Okay. Manic and Depressive were an odd couple, to say the least. Yet they lived together in a town called Mind, though not peacefully. They were rarely seen together, but everyone knew they both lived in Mind. Manic would call Depressive a fool when she would try to rule, but Depressive was so strong she forced Manic to stay silent. She overpowered all, with no violence, even joy, hope, and love. She did not want the power, but could not give it up. Manic took over 3 times a year for fun, leaving Mind exhausted and particularly low on funds. The weather in Mind was never consistent, persistently changing along with both of their dominance. Manic had a particular confidence, while Depressive remained plagued by consequence. Depressive thought much about regrets, about the love she didn't get, darkness she could not forget. She recalls the nights spent in bed when, instead of being at that party, she lay staring at the roof, as though the answers would fall from it and say something about truth. Manic was at that party, though he doesn't remember shit. I think he got drunk or spliffed or snorted something sick, like woke up the next day next to another chick that wasn't the one from all the calls he'd missed, checking if he was okay, kiss, kiss. Depressive slept all the time. She barely left Mind at all. No matter how many times she asked for a wake-up call, Mind refused to let the sound of that alarm penetrate her walls. So she lost another job, broke another promise, and remained trapped in Mind with her unforgiving conscience. Manic never slept. Manic never wept. Manic never kept promises because as soon as they were made, Manic had a new idea, a new game to be played, because reality wasn't real. Manic never stayed long in Mind. Manic was busy trying to turn back time, or attempting to fly, or trying to get high, or forgetting that Depressive was still in Mind and things weren't fine. Depressive called out, but this was too often. At first, people would soften, offer their shoulder, a blanket when it was colder, but as she got older, Depressive saw people change towards her. Doctors started insisting on medication instead of it being the last resort. She asked about meditation. They laughed in her face, and she said she was sick, would only get better if she takes it. Friends stopped calling to check in. When Manic needed rest, it was she who would step in, and everyone would wonder who she was, as they preferred her better half. So she would ask herself, why? She couldn't be like Manic all the time. There must be something wrong with her because he's fine and they both live in Mind. So why was it she that wanted to die while Manic was out there playing games with his life? There was this one time where Manic was driving, and as the corner was coming, he started smiling. 120 on the dash, he felt like lightning, waiting for whatever would come from the splat, till Depressive drew him back. It wasn't his car, he couldn't do that. Depressive's guilt seeped into him as hate, so he slammed a foot on the brakes and cursed himself for not being game enough to make mistakes. Manic and Depressive were an odd couple, to say the least. Yet they lived together in a town called Mind. Though not peacefully, they were linked to each other by poles of iron. They both longed for a release, for life to be brighter. Depressive asked for the burden to be lighter, for the world to be nicer, for clarity and wise words to enlighten. Manic asked for life to move slower, for his heart rate to lower and memory to return so he could know more. Together they tore the town of mind to pieces, though they did not mean this. They simply existed in a world that insisted that they could not live peacefully, no matter how they wished it. Thanks, guys.